Truth is, stress has always been a side effect of college.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Latz, integrative psychiatrist with over 35 years of clinical expertise blending Western medicine with holistic, alternative, integrative, and complementary approaches. Show of hands. How many of you have ever said, "I'm fine," when you knew you absolutely were not fine? Now keep your hands up if you've ever pulled an all-nighter, slept in your car, skipped meals, or felt you were drowning in expectations. In 2015, pre-pandemic, I was driving to work one morning when I heard on my local NPR station, find out what North Carolina school is being called Suicide U after 9 deaths. Imagine my surprise when I found out it was my daughter's school, Appalachian State University. I nearly drove off the road. I got to work and immediately called my daughter and asked her, "You all right?" Her reply, "I am, but some of my friends are not." I offer college students the shrink's greatest hits of tools and tips to immediately get you out of emotional overwhelm, to calm your mind, and to enhance your mental wellness, and to add to your self-care toolkit.
While we were taught how to take tests and do that well, nobody taught us how to protect our mental health while we were doing it.
So what do you do about those people that you have to be around, just have to be around? Either you work with them or they're in your family and they're going to be at the family reunion and they just annoy you.
But you have to be there. How do you protect your energy? How do you keep from biting the hook of getting upset, stepping into your reactive self, and just sort of causing a scene? This is where I like to share something I call the my cucaracha technique.
Dating today can be a bit of a mosh pit. I've worked with people who have been in relationships and then it falls apart. And they sit in all of this guilt and shame over what did I do wrong.
I found this to be a universal truth, that there begins to be a great beating of oneself up when relationships fail. I like to teach people what I call the 4 love connections.
I'm here making a house call, bringing you the shrink's greatest hits. So we're going to have fun. Get ready. Put on your seatbelt. It's going to be a wild ride. I have trained students at Wake Forest University and UNC Asheville School of Medicine and taught internationally at conferences and seminars. I decided to work with college students during this ongoing mental health crisis after seeing so many people struggling during the college years in these stressful times. In fact, this work is more than just a mission, it's personal. That's when I learned the truth. There had been a mandatory meeting of all students enrolled in the music department in their highly competitive freestanding music school, and students were told due to national cutbacks in music and arts programs, they should consider switching majors or adding in a second major. These were students whose lives and dreams were completely immersed in the music program. They lived and breathed it. All students were then dismissed. No one had notified parents. No one knew this was happening. I get it. They were 18, but it left them with no planned support to process this. In the following week, after 4 deaths in that music program, there was another mandatory meeting, and the students were asked, "What's going on? Is there some suicide pact?" Students were dumbfounded, grieving, and shocked. They weren't allowed to leave until they'd each filled out a Columbia suicide rating scale. She also told me that one of the suicides had been a young girl that had been targeted by a serial offender. Again, no parents or family have been notified of the deaths on campus, the assault, or any of the meetings that had happened. All the students have been dealing with this alone.
The real story is there were no tools in place for this mental health crisis, and we're in a national mental health crisis now. No one was talking to parents, no one was talking about it. Instead, it was implied that you were snowflakes and you don't have the grit to survive. I reached out to my daughter and her friends and found many of them had tried to go to their campus student counseling, but with limited staff and resources, it would be 3 or even 6 month wait for them to get in. So I offered them my tools of the shrink's greatest hits to any and all of her friends who wanted them. The blueprint that I've used in my 35 years of clinical expertise for calming emotional overwhelm and boosting resilience in difficult times. Because you are not without grit, but you shouldn't be thrown into the deep end without tools to protect your mental health. No school has to be Suicide U, and I share this because you may not know if you are at Suicide U.